Hello and welcome back to the United Devils watch along. Today we have finally got Manchester United back again. United's first competitive game since their defeat to Sevilla in the Europa League semi-final. And today they are starting their Premier League campaign of the 2020-2021 season at home to Crystal Palace. Of course, those of you will remember from last season that Palace found their first ever win against Manchester United at Old Trafford after a 2-1 victory in added time saw United lose their first game of the season and only in the third match. So it will be a big step for United to demonstrate how much they've developed and grown in the last 12 or rather 13 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it will be a tricky game for Palace, obviously with the improved squad for Manchester United. But Palace know they've already got one competitive win after winning 1-0 against Southampton, and so will be rather confident going into this game. The lineups, the goalkeeping position for Manchester United was one that was a big question mark whether Dean Henderson would directly replace David De Gea for the first match, but De Gea does start, making his 525th senior appearance. Tim Fosu-Mensah is a surprise starting position as right back instead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but the usual suspects in the other back four in Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw are the starting back four. Scott McTominay replaces Nemanja Matic due to lack of fitness, and also Matic is quarantining from his international duty and time with his family. Pogba is starting despite testing positive for the COVID-19 strain not 2 weeks ago. Dan James starts ahead of Mason Greenwood, who was obviously training on his own whilst quarantining from the incident in Iceland. Fernandes, Rashford and Martial keep their places, and that deadly front four will be looking to get off the mark early in this game. For the subs, Dean Henderson is the sub-goalkeeper as Romero has not trained yet. Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Fred, Van der Beek, Greenwood and Ighalo make the rest of the subs bench. Van der Beek looking set to make his debut off the bench, and Greenwood looking to deputise the number 11 shirt after having an upgrade due to his excellent season. As for Crystal Palace, they remain with a 4-4-2 formation with just one change from the side that beat Southampton. Vincente Guaita had an excellent game and keeps his place. Joel Ward, Cheku Kouyaté and Tyrick Mitchell all remain the same, but Mamadou Sakho comes in for Scott Dan, who is not mentioned on the bench. I assume that's for injury. Andros Townsend is the wide right winger. James McArthur and James McCarthy are the midfield two, and Jeff Schlupp is making his 100th Crystal Palace appearance on the left-hand side, with Wilf Zaha and Jordan Ayew the two forward players. Jordan Ayew, of course, scored against United at Old Trafford in the win last season, but the other goal scorer, in fact the game winner, is still injured after being injured against Manchester United in a 2-0 defeat at Selhurst Park, and Tyrick Mitchell, who did come on in that match, is going to start, and it will be an interesting battle between the two wide fullbacks and against Marcus Rashford and Daniel James, who did actually really impress in the pre-season friendly against Aston Villa, and so it will be interesting to see if he can keep his form up and keep Mason Greenwood out of the team. It is obviously a bit of a shock with a couple of the players. Fosu-Mensah and James were the ones that were being most scrutinised when the lineup came out just under an hour ago, and even Scott McTominay's position there were questions raised, but I think this is still a very strong side and could cause Palace a lot of problems, especially with that front four and Pogba and McTominay working in deeper areas. Of course, Manchester United know that they still remain unbeaten in 14 Premier League games and have not lost while Bruno Fernandes is in the team in a Premier League match. And Manchester United have not won, they're the only team to have won more opening day matches and are unbeaten, or in fact have won every opening day fixture since their 2-1 defeat at home to Swansea in 2014, the first competitive match under Louis van Gaal. Another interesting stat which Palace are looking to break, they've never won back-to-back games in the first two matches of the Premier League. The last time they managed it in any competition was when they won back-to-back games in the Championship in 2006-07. And you can tell already Palace are going to sit back, play low blocks, and counter with the pace and brilliance that Zaha is. And it's going to be dangerous for United because they know they can be culpable on the counter. We saw it against Sevilla. And so this will be massive. It's also massive for Luke Shaw, who's come back after being injured for the last 7 games of the season. Brandon Williams obviously did start those matches, and while he did struggle for a period, was overall relatively solid. It's good to see Shaw back, and hopefully with the competition, the potential signing of Alex Telles coming in, it would be great to see if he can shine today and really make a statement for himself. Of course, this will be massive because United and City obviously have missed 1 game already, so they're already starting on the back foot. But a win today, and a big win today, could send United as high as 2nd in the table, just behind Everton, who won back-to-back games after their 1-0 win away to Tottenham and 5-2 win at home against West Brom earlier today. And the teams are ready. Palace will get the game underway soon, but of course they will take the knee to promote the Black Lives Matter movement, as we've seen since the post-lockdown Premier League. And Palace get us underway. Straight to Kouyaté, who plays a long ball, won by Lindelof, and played back to David De Gea by Fosu-Mensah, who launches it forwards. Headed away by Kouyaté. Back to Sakho. Mitchell. Nice pass into Jeffrey Schlupp, who gets away from Dan James and Fosu-Mensah and finds a nice pass to Mitchell again. It's MacArthur. Fouled by Pogba. Will be a free kick inside Palace's own half. Just a 5-second delay on the stream, so not too bad. And it's a lovely sunny day in Manchester at the moment. Pogba, of course, got 2 assists in his first opening day fixture for Manchester United. In the opening day fixture for Manchester United last season against Chelsea. We'll be looking for better form because after that it took him till an assist against Brighton to get another. Only got 1 goal last season as well, and we'll be looking to improve that significantly. McTominay now fouling Townsend is a dangerous free kick for Crystal Palace. Of course, there was a lot of speculation seeing whether Van der Beek, Pogba and Fernandes could all play together. That's not going to be seen just yet because McTominay's robust defensive qualities are what's got him into the side today. As you're watching, if you have any questions or topics you'd like for me to discuss, please comment on the live chat and I'll get to them as soon as I can. But soon it's going to be a free kick with Townsend looking to whip one in, an in-swinging one from the right-hand side for Palace. And it will be Townsend delivering now. It's a decent cross headed out by Shaw. Just to James McCarthy. Back to Mitchell. Stabs it forward to Sakho. Now McCarthy again. As actually confirmed that Sakho has been rushed in due to the injury to Scott Dan. Martin Kelly is on the bench for Palace though. And a nice pass by Palace. It was cut out by McTominay quite sharply after a bit of a bubble. It's Lindelof to Fosu-Mensah. United not really had any notable possession yet in these opening 2 minutes, but they might have some now with Maguire. To Shaw. Maguire, of course, did not miss a single minute of the Premier League campaign for Manchester United last season, and he'll be looking to continue that stat going into this one. Shaw to Fernandes. Man who almost single-handedly sent United into the Champions League places for this season, along with the help of goals from Martial and Mason Greenwood, and a couple from Rashford and Pogba down the way. But Fernandes now whipping in a ball to find Shaw really nicely. It's Rashford now, getting past one. Shaw looking to find Martial. Was actually a foul against Martial, and will be a free kick to Palace. Not quite sure what Martin Atkinson, the referee today, has blown that for, but has been given. Already you can see that Crystal Palace will be pressing United's danger men. Not only Rashford and Martial, but Pogba and Fernandes too. I haven't seen Pogba really get on the ball or make a difference at all, really, so far. But still plenty of time to do so. Guaita, they're going to have to try and beat Guaita, who's in excellent form. Made some fantastic saves against against Southampton even. Che Adams and Danny Ings in particular. Pogba won that header, but it's only to James McCarthy, and now MacArthur to Mitchell, who flicks it to Schlupp. They're claiming for a handball, but McTominay keeps possession. Now Maguire to Shaw. Looking to get past Townsend, can't quite do so yet, and a poor pass by Maguire was intercepted by Jordan Ayew, but it fell kindly to David De Gea. So now Lindelof to Pogba. Loses out, but he won the ball back very nicely indeed and made up for the error. But it's back with Vicente Guaita after a poor touch from Martial. It's a rare occasion we can say that. It's Cheku Kouyaté, centre-back, which is an interesting situation for Palace because obviously they are still missing Scott Dan and... They're missing Scott Dan now, but they're missing Gary Cahill. Martin Kelly is on the bench, but obviously Roy Hodgson prefers the Senegalese international as a centre-back. Zaha, of course, had his best season a couple years ago with 11 goals. He scored only 4 last season, but has got off to a good start last match, scoring his 40th Crystal Palace goal. And will be looking to continue that good form against his former employers. But Jordan Ayew dispossessed by Lindelof, and while he clears, it is only as far as MacArthur, and McCarthy can get on the ball now and play a nice pass into Townsend, who's clipped it in looking for Schlupp, I think, but Fosu-Mensah's done very well there. And David De Gea has given that away, but Lindelof's cleared as far as McCarthy, though. Now through ball looking for Wilf Zaha, clattered into by Luke Shaw. Really, really poor clearance or pass by David De Gea. I think he was looking for McTominay, but it was never going to get to him. Really, really bad decision by the Spaniard, whose place is up for grabs, really. It's now back with Kouyaté and Sacco. Looking for the long ball option, but pressed into playing short to Mitchell, whose nice through ball has found Jeffrey Schlupp. And it's a good ball into Townsend! And he scored! And that's a shock opener for Crystal Palace. Now they are going to check this, but I don't think there's going to be many complaints. Onside, nice pass by Mitchell into Schlupp, and the ball in. Lindelof gets beaten too easily, but Shaw misses his man and Townsend scores. And that is a disappointing way for United to start their season, but Palace will be elated by that opener. 7 minutes in, and Manchester United are 1-0 down. Curtis said, any free live stream? We don't have a live stream, but we'll be doing live commentary throughout, but we won't be actually showing the video of the match. It is Lindelof, though, with Fosu-Mensah to Dan James. Fernandes to Pogba. Swept wide to Maguire. Under pressure. And now Rashford to McTominay. Lindelof. I'm not really sure who's to blame there, but I would probably say Lindelof and Shaw, because Shaw should probably see the run by Townsend, but that cross should never be able to go in. Lindelof really sloppy, I'd say. Wasn't really that... He was quite culpable for the goals against United when Sevilla scored there too, but was also culpable for a penalty conceded against France when he was on international duty too. But it's Fosu-Mensah, James, Lindelof to Maguire. United in all players in the Crystal Palace half, and Shaw's pass was intercepted, but he recovered the ball, played it back to Maguire. For Rashford, looking for Fernandes, loose control. Kouyaté tries to clear and deflects off Fernandes for a throw. United have started to get into the game, but it's disappointing to see them concede this early on. Throw in from Palace, won by Jordan Ayew, but Maguire keeps possession. Shaw finds Rashford, defended very well by Joel Ward, and cleared by him too, but recovered by Fosu-Mensah. Maguire. It's Fernandes, whose pass is sloppy, but Palace's attempts to create an attack was shepherded out for a throw by Harry Maguire. Palace are looking much sharper, and that is to be expected. Obviously, this is United's first game of the campaign, only their second game since the Sevilla defeat, and so they are rather underprepared, but that is the nature of these post-lockdown matches. And you would expect, really, that regardless, United should be raring to go and knowing that there are spots, well, rather places up for competition, and this is really rather disappointing so far in the first 10 minutes of the game. But Townsend, and then Ward, and now Schlupp, and Townsend again, who has a hit, but it is off target. The head doesn't have to worry about that. Will be a goal kick. Really, really good play by Schlupp and Townsend, and it almost ended in another attempt on target. Only 6% of the actual overall play is being played in Palace's final third, but a long pass from Fernandes looking for Dan James is defended well by Palace in the end, but Guaita clears only for a throw, so United can keep possession, you would hope. Fernandes to McTominay, back to Fernandes, who keeps the ball and calmly places it to Lindelof. Maguire to Shaw. Martial drifted onto the left-hand side, but McTominay, the player found. Fosu-Mensah. Now Daniel James, who looks swarmed by 4 players, and Palace can get possession back with James McCarthy, but the pass to Ayew, I believe, is sloppy, and Shaw keeps the ball. Martial. Rashford now to Fernandes. Shifts it to Fosu-Mensah. Pogba's available. Fosu-Mensah goes for a shot. It's deflected for a corner. Rather speculative. I think it was going to be quite wild shot from Fosu-Mensah, but it will be a corner for United. On their right-hand side, Fernandes to take. United only scored directly from 2 corners last season. Only one header by Maguire, but it will be Fernandes to whip this one in. It's deep, looking for Pogba, and now McTominay for James, who plays it back to Fernandes, and now James again puts in a ball. It's skewed, looking for Martial. It's headed and cleared away by Palace in the end. Now Lindelof's on his own, and De Gea looks nervy, but dealt with it well in the end. It was a really poor header from Lindelof. Martial fouled by James McArthur. Let's have a look at that again. It's Lindelof, the bouncing ball, and he tries to head it back to De Gea, who doesn't read it. It's not De Gea's fault, really. It's a really poor header, but he does well in the end, the goalkeeper, to get away from Wilf Zaha, who stops. He looked like he probably should have been a bit braver, Zaha, and that could have been goal number 2. But on the other side, Pogba to James, now Fernandes. Shifts the play to Maguire. Lindelof. Back to Fernandes. And now a loose touch from Fernandes, and Palace can go back on the counter. It's Zaha. Feeds in Schlupp down the left-hand side. He's got a cross in, headed out by Lindelof even. But back with Schlupp. But Daniel James does well defensively, and Fosu-Mensah wins a throw. Palace still looking very sharp. United growing into the game, albeit slowly. Still not managed a shot on target yet. So if it stays like this, United do have players on the bench to make a difference now. Something couldn't really be said last season. Donny van de Beek obviously can offer a lot. Mason Greenwood as well. Wan-Bissaka if it comes to it. But United still looking to strengthen. Solskjaer has said that himself. Whether that can materialise into signings, we'll have to see. But Pogba finding James. Nice pass into Martial. Good touch. He's got 4 players in front of him, but he's managed to find James. Albeit through a few deflections. Back to Fosu-Mensah. Lindelof to Maguire. Shaw. McTominay. Deflected. Looking for Rashford. Will be a throw to United. Fernandes' flick is blocked by McArthur. And cleared by Joel Ward. Looking for Ayew. But Lindelof can keep possession. Find Maguire. Fosu-Mensah. For Pogba. Whose pass is deflected and not going to reach Rashford initially, but pressure causing Palace problems. McCarthy does very well in the end. Fernandes has gone down though. Looks very hurt. Doesn't look good for Bruno Fernandes. Medical team have come on. It's just James McArthur just treads on. It just stamps on his foot. It's accidental, no maliciousness in that, but he should be fine. Bruno Fernandes, just a bit of treatment. It's not very, it's not a very nice injury, but it's certainly not an intentional one. Should walk it off. Of course, something we have seen from Manchester United is while they can go a goal down in this 14-game unbeaten run, they fight their way back in. And that is something that was differing from earlier in the campaign. And certainly something that they need to bring back as we go into the next 30 minutes of this half. It's back with Guaita, who hits it long. Lindelof heads out for a throw. It's back with Mitchell for the throw. Already, only 18 minutes in, and he is stalling for time, but he's looking for Zaha. It's back with James to Lindelof, who clears. Looking for Martial, found him, and has kept the ball really well. McTominay looked to break through, claims a foul, but not going to be given. Zaha, fouled by Pogba. Not happy with that, the Frenchman. Just hands on his shirt. But it's another dangerous free kick for Palace. It's going to be Townsend again to take it. It is a dangerous one for Townsend to take. Whips it in now, headed out by Rashford, but still in the box. Maguire loses out, but it's cleared initially by him and then Pogba. Now for Rashford, who flicks it on, looking for James. And there's a counter on for United. James for Martial. Looking to drive into the box. He's kept possession really well. Deflected and cleared by Palace in the end. And not quite what was needed. But Shaw to Rashford. Now Pogba, dummies, and shoots! And it's saved by Guaita relatively comfortably in the end. But looked a dangerous position. Dummies it there. And then it looks like he's going to go for the far post. He goes for the near post instead. But Guaita sees it all the way and catches it. Another long hit headed out by Pogba. As far as MacArthur, Lindelof can clear the attempted pass and McTominay finds Maguire. Rashford to Shaw. United's first shot on target, but a rather tame one in the end. James. Now Lindelof to Maguire. Dummies to Lindelof. Pogba to Fosu-Mensah. Palace with that low block, as we've seen against Southampton. And they're doing it at Old Trafford too. Shaw has to play it back to Maguire. Lindelof found James. To Fosu-Mensah, to McTominay. Now Lindelof to Fernandes. It's a chance for Shaw in the wide area. It's a pass on for Rashford. He's found Rashford. Has to check back though. To Fernandes. Nice pass into McTominay, who looks for the shot, and it's just wide. I think Martin Atkinson said corner. Might have taken the deflection. But really nice attempt by McTominay. I think maybe Kiate just gets a touch on that to deflect it away from the goal mouth. But it will be a corner. And taken short to James, but he loses possession and it's cleared. Lindelof with the ball, but not making a mistake this time. Can recycle the pass to Luke Shaw. Got Martial on the left-hand side, Rashford down the middle. Leaves it for Martial. It's sloppy and Pogba can't get there. It's a chance for Palace to counter again. And McTominay does really well to win the ball there. And now Fernandes. To Pogba. Back to Fernandes on the right-hand side. It's a pass on for James. It's found James, who can put a ball in. It's deflected by Mitchell out for a corner. I have to say, I think United should just whip this one in. This is something that United have been struggling at really all season long, is scoring from set pieces. Certainly from corners. Maguire had the most amount of shots from any defender in the Premier League last season. And can he score now? Whipped in by Fernandes to Maguire. Loops header, found Martial. Good flick, but still managed to keep possession, Martial. Under heavy pressure, found Maguire to McTominay. To Martial, just missed it. Couldn't get it under possession. And it will be a goal kick. Yeah, it's overhit pass from McTominay and really unfortunate for Martial, who's looking to get on that, but it will be a goal kick to Palace. Halfway through this first half, and Manchester United are 1-0 down. We'll need the likes of Martial, Rashford and Fernandes to shine through if they are to equalise, let alone win the game. Fosu-Mensah. Now McTominay loses out and Palace on the counter again. It's a chance for Zaha to Townsend. Getting into the box now, cutting back and spooning the shot over. And I don't know why Luke Shaw lets him in onto his left foot. It's really, really sloppy from him. Probably in a game where he needs to probably play his best football. But he's let Townsend have a few shots on goal. Rashford now at the other end wins a throw. Looked much sharper against Aston Villa in the friendly. We'll be hoping for his form to continue in this game, but it's not really shown so far. Shaw's throw cut out, but recycled by Pogba, looking for Martial. Headed out by Sako Fernandes. Looked for a shot, but it's found Martial. Fosu-Mensah to James. Back with Fosu-Mensah. And Lindelof to Fernandes. Back to the Dutchman. It's now Martial, who's clattered into by McCarthy, but Fernandes can find it and he shoots. It's deflected into Guaita and he collects again. I don't think it was going to offer too many problems, even if it wasn't deflected. Martial clattered into, and it's a half chance for him, but I think McCarthy wins the ball. I'm not too sure there, but it's a good block by Chiarte because that could have been a dangerous shot. McCarthy's actually gone down after making 33 appearances last season. It was a surprise because he's obviously had a lot of injury issues during his stay at Everton, and Palace was supposed to be the place where he was going to revive it, but it's looking really bad for him. Roy Hodgson slightly worried about this, obviously with his previous history with injuries. But this is a good chance for Solskjaer to get a few messages to his players. Just having a look at that goal again. It's a lovely pass from Mitchell into Schlupp, but Lindelof really should be dealing with that. De Gea has no chance. It's a great finish by Townsend, but Luke Shaw really should be checking Townsend's run and really should be in front of it. Credit where credit's due, though. It was a fantastic cross. McCarthy is back on. Long kick by Guaita, headed out by Maguire. Looking for Fernandes, headed back by McCarthy. Fosu-Mensah tried to play Dan James through, but it went straight out for a throw. Throw looking for Ayu's, found Zaha. McTominay read that very well. As I said, if you have any questions or topics you would like for me to discuss, please comment below on the live chat. I'll answer them as soon as I can. We'll also be doing a man of the match at the 90th minute and have your say on that too. Maguire now to Lindelof. His fourth season at the club, Lindelof, and this will be the one that will make or break him, I think. It's now Shaw. To Rashford. A lot of pressure found Pogba. Got away from a couple players, but doesn't have any options ahead of him. Dispossessed in the end, but Fernandes can recover and find Lindelof. To McTominay. And now Rashford. To Shaw. Back to Rashford. He's looking to take on a few players. Finds McTominay. To Lindelof. No real penetration about United's play so far. James whipping in a cross. Cleared by Sacco. Only as far as Fernandes, who puts in another ball. It's deflected by Jeffrey Schlupp. And now Palace can counter with Zaha. Looking to get past Lindelof. And he's done well so far, Victor Lindelof. And he's conceded a corner, but it was a really good bit of defending there. Good bit of defending from Lindelof there, but probably could have done that maybe a few metres ahead and might not have gone out for a corner, but can't be that critical. It's a corner from Palace's left-hand side. I think it will be taken by Townsend. It's actually McCarthy who whips it in. Goes all the way through, deflects into Maguire, who blocks it first time, and Martial can get it away the second, and there's a chance for United to counter if Fernandes can find the right pass. He's looking for Rashford, but it's only going to find Vicente Guaita, who scuffed it, and looked like there was an elbow in Rashford's face, but Martin Atkinson's not giving anything yet. It's Townsend on the right-hand side. And now play will be resumed. Play will be paused, in fact, for that head injury. Because Guaita just scuffs the ball and Ward puts an elbow into Rashford's head. I think that is actually a foul. Seen them given. It is a foul. He gets his elbow on Rashford's head. It's not malicious, but it's certainly a foul. Probably say, would that be last man? Don't think so, but it certainly should be given as a foul. I don't think VAR will review that. It's too trivial. But head injury for Rashford, I think he's okay though. Will be, I think, a throw-in to Manchester United, but I think they'll probably clear it back to Palace. In fact, I think it will be a drop ball. Luke Shaw trying to protest about it, but it will be back with Palace and in their half, just about. And Townsend now to McCarthy, looking for a through ball for Ayew, but it's snuffed out by Maguire. And now McTominay to Lindelof. All the way back with David De Gea. Long kick looking for Rashford, I think, but it's found Shaw through a few deflections, and now Fernandes to Rashford. He has a little bit of space ahead of him. He finds Shaw, cuts back. He's looking for Fernandes. He's found him now after a few hesitations. And now Fernandes whipping it in, looking for Rashford, headed out by Scott Dan and cleared by Kouyaté. And now Ayew looked like he was fouled by McTominay, but play going on. Martial to Fernandes and Fosu-Mensah. Faster play by Manchester United. Now Rashford on the edge of the box. Cuts past one. And he hits it, but it's straight at Kouyaté, McTominay. But it's cleared in the end by Palace. And still being very resilient. Lindelof. To Maguire. Back to Lindelof. Palace defending very bravely, but United still not able to quite find that killer pass and make those chances that could potentially equalise and get their season up and running, really. Dan James had a little run, but in the end played it back to Pogba. And now his pass is sloppy, but Fernandes tried to contest it. It's cleared, and a long pass is on for Townsend, but Maguire's done well there to leave it for a throw. So now with Shaw. Tries to get the play going quickly. Shaw loses out to Townsend. Sloppy, really, and all the way back with Guaita, who clears. One thing United should look at is pressing Vicente Guaita, because his distribution is really poor. And he's obviously already shown he's conceded a few bits of possession. And now Shaw looking for Martial, found him. And now Shaw's on again, down the left channel. Look to put in a ball. It's totally overhit. And out for a throw on the other side for Palace. 10 minutes left of this half. If you have any questions or topics you'd like for me to discuss, please comment on the live chat. I'll answer them as soon as I can. Of course, can do so during the break as well. But for the moment, it looks like United are going into their first half of the 2020-2021 season a goal down. And is certainly something United did not want on this opening day. Now Mitchell looking for Ayew, headed out by Pogba but cleared by McCarthy. Lindelof did well initially, and Shaw has to scythe it back to his goalkeeper under pressure. Now to the captain, Maguire. McTominay, who's done very well. You have to say, a bit sloppy in the first 5 minutes, but overall really, really good start for him. Now Fernandes to James, looking for Fosu-Mensah, who's in, and a ball into Martial. It's really poor. James looks to hit it, but it's sloppy. Fosu-Mensah might have been offside, but he's going to keep possession until the whistle's blown now. James, is a nice pass into Fosu-Mensah, really good turn as well, but the pass is really poor, and then the shot from James was not really going to trouble Guaita, even if it got to him, but blocked by the wall of Palace defenders. Will be a free kick taken by Guaita, taken long by Guaita. Pogba losing that header, but Lindelof winning his. Will be a throw to Palace on the right-hand side, or United's right anyway. But cut out by Lindelof and then Fosu-Mensah. Now Pogba can get Shaw free. Tracked by Townsend, but there is space ahead of him, and he looks for Rashford. It's sloppy, but Rashford tries to keep possession. Finds Shaw eventually. Rashford back to Shaw. Good bit of play. Nasty challenge again by McCarthy, but no advantage given. It's Fosu-Mensah to Dan James. Back to Fosu-Mensah, who hits a cross straight at Mitchell. Will be a throw to United on the right. United finishing the half strong, but still not really offering too much in shots. But now Maguire looking for Shaw. Long pass headed out by Dan. And out for a throw to United in a dangerous area. Ward's gone down now holding his head. Of course, the man who replaced Aaron Wan-Bissaka when he made his big money move to Manchester United last summer. And has been a stalwart in the team since United's number 29 moved to Old Trafford. Now Fosu-Mensah. Lindelof to Maguire. Space for Shaw. Back to Maguire, who shifts it wide, looking for Fosu-Mensah. And now James cuts inside, looking for Pogba, flicks to Martial, and there's a chance for Fernandes. Pogba was bundled over. There's a free kick, I think, being given to Manchester United. I think the VAR might look at it because Pogba was bundled over in the area. It's Martial. Fernandes was caught by Townsend, so it is a dangerous position for United. And then there's Pogba in the box. Let's have a look. There's not a lot in that, I would say. But they are having a look, VAR. It looks like there's a arm in Pogba's back. And he is bundled over by McCarthy too. I think that could be a penalty. That could be, but of course, I think this is probably where going and having a look at the monitor would be the best option for Martin Atkinson, because it is contentious, it is slight, you might say. It is Jonathan Moss in control of VAR. Think United are lining up a free kick, but there's still a word going into Martin Atkinson's ear. It's a free kick, I think. Yep, free kick given. Still a dangerous opportunity. It looks like it's going to be Fernandes to take it. It's hit the wall and will be a corner. Not really gonna... Not a dangerous option there, but now it's Fernandes with a dangerous option. In fact, Shaw's gone to take this corner. Left footer out swinging. Ball is in, looking for Pogba. It's headed out by Palace, but Fernandes can recycle it back to Shaw. Now Rashford in the box. Cuts it back for Fernandes, who's bundled over, but Fosu-Mensah keeps possession. For now, anyway. Martial. That's a poor touch from Martial. And Palace can counter if they play their cards right. It's a foul against Maguire. It's really poor touch from Martial. Really uncharacteristic of him. But Palace got away with that because really the corner wasn't very good. But the possession was promising. It's a free kick nonetheless, which Palace will take short, I think. There is the option long, though, for Jordan Ayew. Saka goes for the long option. Headed out by Zaha. Oh, sorry, headed out by Lindelof, even. Fosu-Mensah then clearing. Now Fernandes looking for Martial. Headed away by Kouyaté. Now Rashford onto Martial. Cleared again by Ward. Will be out for a throw to United on their left-hand side, I think. Actually, in fact, Maguire's kept it in quite well, actually. Now McTominay. Drifting it to Shaw, who looks for Fernandes. It's going to be cleared by Kouyaté, who's done very well there. Now McCarthy. For Townsend to Ward. The long pass was not really on for either Zaha or Ayew. And it's back with United and Lindelof. To McTominay. Now Pogba. Good pass into Rashford. Back to Fernandes. Shaw. Martial. Pogba to Fernandes. As a ball onto Shaw, it's a good pass. If Shaw can keep it in. He can't. And I don't know how he can't. It was a perfect pass. And Shaw just didn't really read the trajectory. But I think I'm not quite sure who I'd bring on. I'd probably say Greenwood would come on straight, almost, I'd say maybe 10 minutes in, because James has been lively but not really made a difference. Would be harsh to take him off at half time though. Maguire wins this latest header. Now Martial for Rashford to McTominay. This is better. He's bundled over. It's going to be a free kick against Andros Townsend this time. It's a good bit of play. McTominay driving forward and just clattered into by Townsend. Fernandes to Pogba for Fosu Mensah, leaves it for James. It's a chance now. He whips it in. It's deflected away by Sakho, but back to Pogba. Lindelof to Pogba. Now Maguire to McTominay. Lindelof to Pogba again. Not been given a lot of space, but he's found Fosu Mensah. And now James. Lindelof. Poor pass from McTominay means Lindelof has to track back into his own half and play it back to David De Gea. It's been a really lacking first half, I have to say. It's been sluggish and sloppy. You can expect that being the first game of the season. You can expect that being United's second actual match since the end of last season. But I would still say United should be doing a lot better. But they've got 4 minutes added on to make a bit of a difference. Maguire looking for Fosu Mensah, who found a bit of space. Now Fernandes to James, and Fernandes again. Fosu Mensah in the box, looks for a cross into Martial. It's deflected away. And now Palace can counter with Zaha, who's looking to get past Lindelof. But Fernandes defending well initially. Can't quite keep possession as Zaha has it again. It's now with Ayew down the left-hand side. Cuts past McTominay. Looks to shoot. It's saved by David De Gea. Great save from David De Gea. It's a strong shot from Ayew. Really poor from McTominay, who was out of position and allowed Ayew to cut in on his right foot. And it's a big save from David De Gea. It's a strong shot, but it's a strong arm from the Spaniard. And now it will be a corner to Palace. Townsend looking for an in-swinging cross. Whipping it in. It's a good one headed out by Lindelof. Brought back into the area by Joel Ward, and now for Zaha on the left-hand side, cutting past Rashford, but shot wide of the mark. Couple minutes left of this half. If you have any questions or topics you'd like for me to discuss during the halftime break, comment below on the live chat and I'll answer them as soon as I can. But Fernandes looking to start another attack, looking for Rashford, headed out by Sakho. MacArthur loses out, but Fosu Mensah even, his pass was poor. Schlupp gets away from McTominay. Advantage played as Zaha looks to get that. That was a long advantage. It's a long advantage that was eventually not played, and the free kick will be brought back. I think it will be another long cross into the box perhaps, but Saka to take another one. Is going to be looking for, I think, the flick on to Ayew, who's free down the left-hand side. Looking to get past Fosu Mensah. Pogba now for company. He's playing for time, Ayew. But Pogba's done well defensively. Initially, anyway. And winning a throw. Done very well. Something that people have criticised Pogba for is his defensive work. He's done very well there. winning a throw and potentially a chance for United to get one last attempt to equalise with 1 minute left in this half, but Palace just going to keep that, give it back to Vicente Guaita, who hits it long, himself looking for Ayew. And Fosu Mensah lets that go, and there's a chance. Schlupp trying to scoop across forward. It's dealt with initially by Lindelof, and eventually gets it away. It's a foul against Zaha, who was trying to win the ball back from Lindelof, but will be a free kick United take quickly. I think this will be the end of the first half. And it is. And United go in, a goal down, a really sluggish first half. And realistically, you would say United have to do far better in the second half if they are to get anything from the game. Palace defending very well, attacking that one time and countering relatively dangerously, but no real output there. But United will be looking to do much better, and they've got another 45 minutes to do so. We'll be back in just 15 minutes. Hello and welcome back to the second half of Manchester United versus Crystal Palace in United's first game of the Premier League campaign. For those of you just joining us, United are 1-0 down to, while admittedly a well-worked goal, some really poor defending from Lindelof and Shaw, as Townsend scored the opening goal of this game just 7 minutes in. United huffed and puffed but really couldn't find any kind of penetration to score. They had a couple chances but nothing really of note. Two shots that were comfortably saved by Vicente Guaita. Palace had the chance to double their lead a few minutes before the end of the first half, but a big save from David De Gea prevented Palace from going further ahead. And now Mason Greenwood is coming on at half-time as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not wasting any time making changes. And I think it will be for Daniel James, but I will wait for confirmation before changing the name on the lineup. But that is a big statement, as United have not won a single game. They were a goal down last season. It was 10 times that happened, and it was 10 times United couldn't find a win. This will demonstrate the progress they've had under Solskjaer in the last 12 to 13 months, and hopefully United can come up with the goods in the second 45. But that it will remain to be seen in the second half. Just see, I think it should be for Daniel James, but not yet confirmed. It is Daniel James, I can confirm, and Greenwood comes onto the pitch with his new shirt, the number 11, famously worn by the likes of Ryan Giggs, most recently Anthony Martial, and of course Adnan Januzaj. But it's a big moment for him after all the issues he's had, but will be United to get us underway in this half, and they do just now. And Pogba now to Lindelof, Greenwood, who will obviously start on the right hand side and stay on that right hand side. He likes to cut in onto his left. When he scored 17 goals last season, he'll be looking to start strong. Something that cannot be said so far for Rashford, Martial, Fernandes. Now Pogba, a long pass looking for Shaw. So had to go quite far back to get that, but retained possession. Pass looking for Greenwood, cut out and cleared to Maguire. Of course, that front three scored 44 Premier League goals last season, and in all competitions it was a far greater number. It was, if I'm not mistaken, 62. And now Martial looking for Shaw, is cut out, but Maguire has possession nonetheless. To McTominay. Do think United may have missed Nemanja Matic's composure in the middle of the park, but McTominay's done relatively well. Pogba, who's tried things and been smart with the ball, has not quite shown enough, but has shown some promise so far in this game. But it's really the defensive errors or poor really marking from Lindelof, poor defending from Lindelof and poor marking by Shaw, which cost them the goal. I reckon this half would have gone in 0-0 if United had switched on there, but Shaw now looking to make amends, looking for Rashford, who loses concentration. And now Palace can counter, but Townsend leaves it for a throw to Palace. Ed Woodward is actually in the stadium, and he'll be looking at this and hopefully be seeing what United are missing and get those deals that need to be done sorted before the deadline in just 16 days. McTominay wins that ball back, now finds Fernandes, Chance for Fernandes to get Mason Greenwood into the game, and he feeds Fosu-Mensah. Cuts it back for Greenwood. Now Pogba. Fosu-Mensah now looking for Greenwood again. It's cut out by Mitchell. In fact, Schlupp. And it will be a throw to Palace after a deflection from Fosu-Mensah. It's been it's going to be quite difficult to see United sort of breaking through this valiant Palace defence, but they're going to need a bit of quality, and it's going to have to come. And you'd hope it would come soon, but Palace are on the counter now. There's a chance for Ayew to shoot. It's saved by De Gea. Of course, scored the opener against United last season, and McTominay losing out, and it's then just a counter, and Shaw just cuts him off guard, and then the shot was tamely hit and comfortably collected by David De Gea. Fosu-Mensah to McTominay. Back to Fosu-Mensah, who, again, he's one of those players that he'll be solid defensively, but he can't really deliver in the attacking set. But he's in an attacking area now, and as I've said, he gives it back to McTominay, who finds Pogba, looking for Shaw, finding Shaw really nicely. Tracked by Townsend, looking for the ball into Martial. It's cut away. Now Maguire to Fernandes. Lost out. Now Townsend. Defended well by Fernandes, who's disappointed with his actions so far in the opening 50 minutes. It's going to be dangerous. If United do need to go gun-ho for this, chance obviously of bringing on the likes of Van der Beek, even Ighalo, but nothing extreme like of another sub so early on looks like it's going to be likely to happen. But it's just about finding a groove and getting back into this game. They just need the first goal. The first goal is the important goal, and then from there it's far less uphill, but it's about getting there first. And now Pogba's looking to get there first and finding Martial. There's a chance for Rashford down the left-hand side against Kouyaté. Looks for the pass to Greenwood, finds Pogba instead from the deflection. Nice burst of pace, and a shot is comfortably collected by Guaita. It's a nice burst of pace from Pogba to get away from McCarthy, but then the shot isn't really on the money, and it is in the Spaniards' possession. Competes for a header with Schlupp, loses out. There's a chance for Palace down the left-hand side with Zaha. Gets away from Maguire, deflected potentially into Townsend's place, and he wins the battle against Shaw. Whips in across with his right foot. It's cleared in the end by Pogba, and Greenwood can keep the ball in for United. But there's a player down for Palace in the United box. In fact, it's actually Fosu-Mensah who's down. Looked like it was a Palace player, but Fosu-Mensah's okay. I think maybe just got hit in the face, Fosu-Mensah. I think the reason Martin Atkinson blew was probably because it was a head injury, and so wasn't taking anything for granted really, because that's how that's what the rules are for head injuries. It's very important. Concussions having such a massive effect, and Shaw is playing like he's had a concussion as he just gives away the ball really cheaply out for a throw to Palace. It's Ward to Ayew. Put under pressure by McTominay, and Maguire fouled by Ayew. I think it's really clear that there's still work to do on this team, and there's still plenty of time to do it, but it's about getting those deals done, and something that historically Manchester United have been sluggish and sloppy in doing so, and they're being sluggish and sloppy at the moment, giving the ball away to Palace and bringing the fouls away from Palace. It will be a free kick in just inside United's half. Sacco going to take another one. You'd expect it to be a long pass looking for Schlupp. Good driving run, and he's looking for the cutback to Ayew, and now Townsend, who shoots and over the bar. But it's a dangerous position again, and it's really sloppy defending. Just driving run from Schlupp, I think, and then it's just really poor defending overall. If United lose today, it's big, because obviously they have started on the back foot, and this would be even worse. It is a corner for Palace. I think it will be McCarthy taking it from the Palace left. Whipping the ball in. Looking for, I think, Kouyaté, but United keep the ball. Fernandes clearing, looking for Greenwood. And he's found him due to a bit of poor defending from Joel Ward. And it's a foul. I think it should be a yellow card, and it is a yellow card for Joel Ward. No attempt to get the ball, just trying to stop Greenwood. It was a poor bit of control from him initially, and then he knew there would be an issue because United would be on the counter, and it's a fair yellow. Lindelof to McTominay, who's almost playing like an auxiliary centre-back at the moment, something we've seen Nemanja Matic do, and something it looks like Solskjaer's trying to get into McTominay as the long-term solution. Maguire's long pass is easily cut out by Schlupp. There's a chance for Palace on the counter, and it's Zaha against McTominay. And it's still Zaha. McTominay's done well so far, but it's back with Ayew or Schlupp now. He gets away from... He puts in another ball, and it's behind all his players, and back with Rashford now. Shaw. There's players ahead of him to play it too, but he's had to go to McTominay. Fernandes. Now Fernandes finds Fosu Mensah. It's back to Fernandes though. And Pogba loses out really cheaply. And McCarthy plays it back to Guaita. It's a sluggish first 10 minutes. Even with the addition of Mason Greenwood and Maguire having to be a little bit sharper than some of his teammates in dealing with that, playing it back to De Gea. So now with Fernandes. To Greenwood. To McTominay. Pogba, interestingly, is playing more on the left-hand side even, as he kept drifting over there anyway, despite being the right central midfielder. So, smart move there. And now Martial making a smart move, and he looked like he was pushed over, but not a lot really there on replay. Martial, Rashford and James were the scorers in United's last opening day fixture against Chelsea. And you have to say they're going to need Martial and Rashford to score today if they're going to win this game. But at the moment, it's looking unlikely. We'll have to get United have to get settled into the game a little bit more, because Palace are playing very well. Pogba loses this header from the goal kick, and Palace keep possession. MacArthur looking for Schlupp. Oh, it's nasty from Fosu Mensah, and it's a yellow card. just goes in. I thought he won the ball, but clearly not. It's on Mitchell, and he doesn't win the ball, I don't think. No. It is low, though. His boot was low, which is probably what saved him a red, but certainly not what was needed. Says a lot about Diogo Dalot that Fosu Mensah's playing today. Dalot obviously started the friendly against Aston Villa, and I think he's not really favoured by the manager at this point, as the free kick is defended well by Fernandes initially, and then headed away by Lindelof. But back with Palace and Mitchell and now Townsend, but Fernandes again doing well. Pogba also. United shift it quickly to the left-hand side with Shaw. Looking for Rashford. Opts against it instead and plays it to McTominay. Back with Shaw though. Maguire. Lindelof with options ahead. Plays it to Fosu Mensah. And now it's McTominay to Maguire. Maguire does well, finding Fosu Mensah. There's a chance for United on the right. It's Greenwood in. He puts in a ball instead towards Greenwood, and it's just wide. Big chance for Manchester United there. Maguire does really well to find Fosu Mensah. It's a nice pass into Greenwood, and he's said openly that he wants to improve on his heading game, and it's a really poor header. He goes for the near post. He should really go for the far post, and he puts it quite wide anyway. It's now McCarthy scooping it wide, looking for Townsend, but it's back with David De Gea, who jump kicks it to Fernandes. Looking for Greenwood, it's cut out by Ward. And then McCarthy loses out and concedes a throw. Of course, that midfield pairing for Palace knows each other very well. They both won the FA Cup under Wigan before moving to Palace and Everton respectively, but found themselves again at Palace. Fosu Mensah now losing out. Chance for Palace on the counter. And Zaha's completely free, but David De Gea's sweeper keeping does very well. Now Greenwood on the left-hand side this time. Rashford's gone onto the right at the moment. Fernandes to Shaw. Now McTominay to Maguire. Now Pogba. Looking for runners ahead. He finds Rashford down the right. And now Fosu Mensah's got a ball in. Looking for Greenwood. It's cut out. But only as far as Rashford. Back with Greenwood. And Pogba. Shifting it to Fernandes. Whips it in. Looking for Pogba. But it's cleared by Sakho. And again by Joel Ward. Maguire. Fosu Mensah to Lindelof. It's United going all out at this moment as the hour mark goes. Fernandes looking for Greenwood. He's found him brilliantly. Tussled away from Mitchell. And now it's Martial looking for the cutback. It's no one's at the edge of the box. It's a chance for Palace to counter. Zaha against Maguire. Pogba for company. It's a good pass into Townsend down the left. It's a chance for him to put a ball in towards Ayew. It's found Schlarp, who hits it, deflected by McTominay, blocked by McTominay. And he's now fouled as well. Really, really good defensive work by the Scot. Zaha causing loads of problems, and Townsend's crosses good because realistically there weren't many options in the box, and McTominay does well enough. Now it's United up the other end with Shaw and Fernandes. Back to Shaw. Deflected cross going back to Pogba, who loses out really poorly again. Ayew cut out by Fernandes, does very well defensively, and Pogba again sloppy. I'd say he probably might come off. Fernandes, Pogba winning that, but only as far as MacArthur. It's back with Townsend. Kouyaté to Sakho. United pressing a lot more, but Palace keeping their possession so far. Guaita looking for Townsend. McCarthy. Maguire stabs it into Shaw's path, but he loses out. And Maguire, really poor challenge. It's a yellow card for Harry Maguire. Have to say, Maguire bundles Zaha over. It's cynical. It's deserved the yellow card. But showing that on the counter, Palace can cause a lot of problems. But United are looking to cause a lot of problems now. Van de Beek is getting stripped and ready to come on for his debut. And they're going to need a big performance from him. At the moment, Sakho with the long ball. Headed out by Maguire. As far as McCarthy. Back with Sakho and McCarthy. Good play from Palace. Townsend. Cuts it back. McTominay does well this time. Fernandes fouled. Pogba. Chance to counter. Fosu-Mensah. Finding Greenwood down the right. There's players ahead of him. He cuts in, looks for the shot. It's deflected and defended well. McTominay to Fernandes to Pogba. Looks sluggish. Think probably rusty. Think he could come off. But then again, you don't want to let one of your best players come off when you need the most. Now Martial in the box. Heavy touch. Cleared by Kouyaté for a throw. It's now with Fernandes to Pogba. Lindelof back to Pogba. Now Fernandes. Fosu-Mensah. Martial. Fernandes. Can only find Lindelof behind him. Maguire. The space wide, but the pass is poor. And Palace can counter again. It's a 3-on-2. There's space ahead. And now done very well, Lindelof initially, but there's Ayew. And now Zaha. It's a chance for him. He shot and scored. But the flag's up. He did look offside, Zaha. We'll have to see. He is offside, Zaha. So United have been saved blushes because that is a fantastic finish from Zaha. Ahead of David De Gea. And now Van de Beek is coming on for Pogba because he's looked slightly rusty. And he's going to have a big 25 minutes left of this game to make a difference. And boy, United need him to make a difference. Fernandes to Rashford. McTominay to Maguire. Shaw. And now Van de Beek to Rashford. And Shaw. Fernandes playing in Pogba's position and Van de Beek playing as the number 10, really. Fernandes whipping one in, deflected by Schlupp. I think it will be a corner for United. This one's got to be different, because United really haven't had a proper shot, a proper chance, other than that Greenwood effort off target. Fernandes with the corner in, looking for McTominay, and Lindelof over the bar. About 8 yards out, and Lindelof spurns a good chance. Was difficult, but he's just under the ball, Lindelof. Seen Rio Ferdinand score something similar against Swansea, but it's a really poor finish when good finish was needed. I think obviously goal kick to Crystal Palace. Not made a substitution yet. The last game they brought on Milivojevic and Easy, but nothing so far for the Eagles. Van der Beek looking to get United ahead, loses possession. Now Townsend is away from and it's Ayew now, scoops it, caught by De Gea. Deflected by Lindelof in the end, but really poor defending initially. Now Shaw, Martial to Fernandes, Rashford cuts away from MacArthur, fires a shot really wide. Not really on from Rashford. Plenty of time still, but those kind of efforts are not going to get United back into the game. There is going to be a VAR check. They are checking a possible penalty. It hits Lindelof's arm. Having a look at this now. Ayew just hits it, and it's so close to Jordan. It's so close to Victor Lindelof. I'd be surprised if they gave it. I don't think they'd give that, but it is really close. But we'll see. He's going to have a look now. It could be a penalty for Crystal Palace. Not sure what Martin Atkinson's going to make of this, but obviously the ball is coming very quickly at Lindelof, and his arm is out, but it's only doing so because he's running, and there's not really much he can do to get out of the way of that. But you have to say, I'd be surprised if they gave it, but it would be almost a death sentence for United at this point in the game. He's given it. He's given a penalty to Crystal Palace, and honestly, that is really poor refereeing, I think. I don't think that's a penalty. Obviously, I think you'd feel aggrieved if it went against you, but obviously surprised if it didn't. But it's so close to his body. I'm disappointed in that decision. That is never a penalty for me. Palace obviously playing a lot better, you have to say, but it's not. It's certainly a surprise for me that has been given. And it is going to be Ayew, who did score the opener last season at Old Trafford. Can he score against David De Gea, who hasn't saved a penalty for 4 years? It's Ayew against De Gea. He hits it, and it's saved by David De Gea! And caught again! Brilliant save. A really poor penalty, to be fair. It was really sloppy, but a big save from De Gea. And he might have just saved United, and he might just keep them in the game. Fosu-Mensah back to De Gea. Maguire. And the penalty is going to be retaken. And that is shambolic as well. It was a brilliant save, but it's not. That is stupid refereeing. That is really, really awful decision. That's two awful decisions from Martin Atkinson and VAR. And honestly, I don't understand why that's been given, because he's just off the line. But even then, it never gets given. It's going to be retaken. And it is going to be, I think, Wilfred Zaha to take this one instead of Jordan Ayew. Hasn't scored against United yet, but it is Zaha's chance. And he doesn't miss. And United are in a lot of trouble with just 17 minutes to go. It's looking like Palace are going to win against United at Old Trafford for 2 seasons in a row. 74th minute plays, and Palace are 2-0 up. And this is a big, big concern for Manchester United. This is really, really bad for Manchester United, but while you can say they don't deserve to be ahead, that goal should never have been allowed in the first place. But still 15 minutes for United to save any blushes they have. And after this, Jeff Schlupp has come off for Eberechi. Just signed from Queen's Park Rangers. Now back with Maguire, Shaw, Rashford, Maguire strong, keeps the ball in. More urgency from United at the moment. Rashford gives the ball away. I think he might have been fouled. Is a dangerous option for United now. It's Fernandes on a free kick. Of course, the deliveries haven't been of the best quality so far. It's Fernandes whipping it in, looking for Maguire, headed away by Sakho. And cleared by Mitchell, looking for ease. Easy, even. Fosu-Mensah finding Fernandes. Martial now on the edge of the box, looking for any options, cleared by Palace again. Shaw. Van der Beek to Fernandes. Palace doing really, really well defensively. Keep United at bay, not giving Rashford and Martial any space. Lindelof to Fernandes, now Maguire. United camped in the Palace half, looking for anything now. Shaw to Martial, to Van der Beek, back to Martial, this is better. Rashford, Van der Beek, McTominay leaves it and gives it to Palace. But Maguire wins it back. McTominay again. To Greenwood. Fernandes. Loses out to Ayew and Palace could get a third. He's played it in for Zaha and Maguire is being fouled all the way and its free kick has been given. Shaw. Long pass looking for Fosu-Mensah. Driving run from him is shepherded all the way by Mitchell, but United win a throw. McTominay. Fernandes. Of course, if the scoreline stays like it is, and I expect it to, this will be United's first defeat in 14 Premier League games and Fernandes' first defeat in the Premier League. Still, you could back United to get something from this game with the attacking talent they have on the pitch. Fernandes to Van de Beek. Back to Fernandes, shifting it for Maguire. His pass is poor, and there's a chance for Townsend on the counter. McTominay is the last defender, does very well to stop Jordan Ayew. Shaw. Space ahead of him, players ahead of him. Rashford to Van de Beek. Back to Rashford. It's going to be a throw to United. "11 minutes plus extra time, or added time, and Michy Batshuayi is going to make his second debut for Palace. But Martial in the box. Cleared in the end for a throw. MacArthur defending very well. Pass from Shaw to Van de Beek. Fosu-Mensah. Greenwood to Fosu-Mensah. McTominay back to Greenwood, who has a shot, but it's blocked. Again. Lindelof. Fosu-Mensah whipping in another cross. There's a chance. Van de Beek! And he scores! And now then, a debut goal for Donny van de Beek and a chance for United to get back into this game. 10 minutes left. Can United get anything from this game? Lovely finish from Van de Beek. It's a really scruffy cross, but a really composed finish from Van de Beek. And there's a chance for United to get back into this game. 10 minutes left. And from here, you have to back United. But Palace are going to make a substitution now. I think it is going to be Michy Batshuayi for Jordan Ayew. Of course, Batshuayi did score against United in the Carabao Cup defeat for Chelsea. But we'll see whether he can do any impact off the bench now. McTominay has gone to right back as United, I think, bring on Odion Ighalo. It is going to be McTominay playing at right back. Fosu-Mensah gone off now. United made all three of their substitutions. And it will be Odion Ighalo to come on now. But Palace on the counter, flagged up for offside. As I say, if you have any questions or topics you'd like for me to discuss in these last 9 minutes, please comment below. And in about 9 minutes, I'll also give my man of the match. But still plenty to play for now. And there's space opening up for United. And Greenwood down the right-hand side. Van de Beek. For Shaw. Cutting inside. Back to the Dutchman, cleared by Joel Ward. Palace obviously going to defend much deeper if that's possible. But it's a throw for Martial. Now Rashford, back to Martial. Shaw for Van de Beek, and Shaw again. He's livened things up, certainly, Donny van de Beek. Lovely back heel into Rashford. back to the Dutchman. Shaw. Rashford keeps it in. Maguire for Martial. Now Van de Beek loses out this time. Cleared by Palace to Zaha. But Lindelof gets a foot in. It's with Rashford. Shaw. To Martial. Now Igalo. Loses out to AZ. It's back with Fernandes. Pulling the strings in the midfield. But Van de Beek's come on and made a massive difference so far. McTominay. Playing as the auxiliary right back. Fernandes to McTominay to Greenwood. Fernandes whipping in a cross. It's screwed wide to Shaw. There's a cutback available, blocked again by Townsend. Rashford finds Maguire. Wins a throw. And I think Zaha's gone down now. Will be a throw to United regardless. 6 minutes plus added time. Greenwood. Pass is cut out. Van de Beek does well defensively, but only to give possession to Palace again, and it's Eze even. Apologies for that. Back to, I think, Mitchell. He's played very well. And Zaha, who shoots, and it's past De Gea. It's a great shot from Zaha. And that's the game sealed. Good strength to hold off Maguire. And then a rocket. De Gea couldn't get anywhere near it. Let's have a look at this again. So it's Eze to Mitchell. It's Lindelof, in fact, who's bullied by Zaha. And De Gea can't see it. It's completely... He's allowed on his right foot. It's between his two centre-backs, and it's a rocket past David De Gea. No chance. But that is a massive goal for Palace, who looked like they could be flattened after a potential comeback, but have actually come back themselves and much stronger. And Zaha gets his second of the game against his former club, and that should be it. Fernandes for Igalo. It's cleared by Mitchell, but just for a throw. Fernandes loses out, but Van de Beek retains the ball. McTominay. It's Rashford. Can't get away from MacArthur. Has to play it all the way back to Lindelof, and that's really poor that United can't find the space. Although you have to say credit where credit's due, Palace have been fantastic, but United have been poor. And it's Lindelof and Shaw who have given Palace the goals. It is, again, individual errors or individual defensive problems, but that's half the back four, realistically. And there's no way United can go on or even compete for a title with performances like these. I think it is going to be James McCarthy to come off for Luka Milivojevic, of course the club captain. It's a corner for United. Fernandes is going to take it, and he's going to try and take it quickly. It's whipped in, headed away. Really disappointing again. And Palace have a chance to counter. And it's Zaha again. But Maguire's done well. Now Shaw. Greenwood. Looking for a cross into Fernandes. And Ighalo couldn't get there. And it will be a goal kick to Crystal Palace. Solskjaer does not look happy with his team. He doesn't look happy with the performance. Or no. Questions will be raised. But I really think he's the one that needs to raise the questions as to why the likes of Sancho, Telles, or Reguilon, or even another midfielder, why Upamecano wasn't brought in. And a lot of questions have to be answered by Ed Woodward, who should and will be under a lot of criticism for not bringing in players and not bringing them in quickly. And now Eze. Looking to get past McTominay. Finds Milivojevic now in the midfield. Happy to keep playing, keep it to Kouyaté, who's done very well, you have to say, as the auxiliary centre-back. Now there's a chance for Batshuayi. Spoons it over. You have to say there does need to be another centre-back addition because Lindelof's just not... I mean, he's not picked up any form, not been sharp enough. Fernandes to Ighalo, strength, no foul given. Apparently fouls get given only one way in this game. Easy. Now chance for Palace to counter again. It's just him versus Maguire. Chance for him to have a goal early on in his career. It's Fernandes instead, who wins the ball back in the end. And now Rashford. 90th minute now. Greenwood. 6 added minutes. But man of the match for me, again, Wilf Zaha's fantastic. He's been fantastic. And he's not been properly defended. But now Martial looks for a shot. It's blocked, though. Fernandes fouls Zaha now on the counter after a really poor pass from Maguire, and will be a free kick to them. Of course, last season was the first time Palace won against Manchester United, and they've done a double at Old Trafford in the last 2 seasons, and it's the first time that they've won back-to-back games in the first 2 opening matches of the Premier League campaign ever, and the first time in any competition since 2006. Now McTominay looking for Greenwood on the left. Found him brilliantly, you have to say. Shifting the ball to Ighalo. It's defended well. And cleared again well. Undeniably, Palace have been brilliant, but United have been awful defensively at times, and the counter-attack from Palace has been working a treat. Now Greenwood for Fernandes. Deflected. Now into Van de Beek and Martial. Back to Van de Beek. Fernandes. Defended again well by James MacArthur. Must be such a frustrating game for those forwards. Not been given an inch to deal with. And when they have, it's been at the wrong times. Or rather, the right times of Crystal Palace. Long pass, looking for Ighalo, headed out, but for another throw. Martial to Van de Beek. to Shaw. Van der Beek obviously made a difference. Shaw's cross is awful. Nothing going to happen from there. Just 3 more minutes left. And almost thankfully 3 more minutes left, because this has been a very demoralising second half. Will be a goal kick to Palace, obviously, but see what United can do from recycling the play, if they can. McTominay wins that header, but it's backwards, and Lindelof does cover for him eventually. It's McTominay conceding a throw. Eze trying to just slow down the game. Rashford, nice burst of pace and a cynical foul. Fernandes looking for a long pass, is hit straight at, I think, Michy Batshuayi, but it's Lindelof to Van der Beek. Martial, just 90 seconds left of this game. United then go to Luton Town on Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup, and then we'll play Brighton away, which has been a troubling and dangerous game. Brighton obviously played very well against Chelsea, despite not coming away with the win, and this is something United need to worry about, really, at this moment. Now McTominay looking in for Martial, cleared by Sakho for another corner. Just 60 seconds left, and will just be whether United can just get another consolation or end in this rather damning scoreline. Corner taken, headed away effortlessly. Chance for Zaha to get past Shaw, but Shaw's done very well there for once. And now it's cross in, looking for Rashford. He's found Rashford. Scooped back to Fernandes. Whips in a cross, looking for Igalo. It's going to find Greenwood on the left, who whips in a cross, but headed away by MacArthur. Just 10 seconds left. I think this will be the last play, if United can get anything from this corner. Won't really matter, but will be the end. Rashford hits it long for Fernandes. For Maguire, back to Fernandes, and that is the end of a damning performance from Manchester United and a fantastic performance for Crystal Palace, but really a shambolic defensive performance, and really actually just overall a really poor performance from United. They look rusty, they look sloppy, and they paid for their mistakes, as they did against Sevilla, as they did against Chelsea, and as they did against Manchester City in the respective semi-finals. And so United need to do far better in the next few matches. They need to improve the squad with at least 2 more signings. But again, with only 16 games left, how realistic is that? It's going to be a tough season for United with everyone else improving, bar United. And what's left of this, well, we'll have to see what happens on Tuesday and next Saturday. But not off to a good start and looking very worrying so far. Thank you to those of you listening. If you have any questions or topics you would like for us to discuss on the next one, which will be happening next Saturday against Brighton, please comment on this YouTube video or on the Twitter or Facebook post. And if you enjoyed this, which would be a surprise, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow